Your mind is a program, you can rewrite it. Most people live their entire lives operating on mental code they didn't choose, written by parents, teachers, society, and experiences that often came from a place of fear or limitation. From the moment you were born, you were soaking up beliefs like a sponge. Be realistic. Don't ask for too much. Play it safe. These messages didn't come from truth. They came from people projecting their own limitations onto you. And now, years later, you're living based on a software you didn't even install consciously. The mind is like a computer. It runs patterns, it responds to input, and it produces output. Your results in life, your income, your body, your relationships, your self-worth are all outputs. They're not random. They're coming from the internal code you're running every single day. The question is, who wrote that code? And more importantly, why are you still running it? What you believe about yourself creates your reality. If deep down you believe you're not good enough, not smart enough, not worthy of success, that belief will sabotage you before you ever get started. Not because it's true, but because your mind is wired to protect you, even from your own potential. That's the trick. The mind doesn't care if your program is empowering or destructive. It only cares if it feels familiar. It will fight to preserve the known, even if the known is keeping you small. But here's the truth, your mind isn't fixed. Neuroscience has proven over and over again that the brain is plastic. It changes, it rewires. Every time you choose a new thought, every time you reject an old belief, every time you take a new action despite the fear, you are rewriting your program. But it doesn't happen by accident. It happens by repetition. It happens when you stop waiting for permission and start taking control. You don't need more motivation. You need a system. You need new language. You need to interrupt the old script every time it plays and replace it with something powerful, something aligned with where you're going, not where you've been. Reprogramming your mind starts with awareness, but it's built with intention. You become the programmer. You decide what beliefs stay and which ones get deleted. You decide what success means, how you define worth, and what story gets to shape your future. Your morning is your launchpad. The way you begin your day sets the tone, the momentum, and the energy for everything that follows. Yet most people stumble into their mornings in a state of reactivity, hitting snooze, grabbing their phones, scrolling through chaos before they've even taken their first conscious breath. They don't start their day, they survive it. And that's exactly why they feel stuck, scattered, behind before they've even gotten dressed. Because your first hour is not just about what you do, it's about the identity you step into. The mind is most impressionable right when you wake up. In those early minutes, your brain is shifting from delta to theta to alpha waves, a state where your subconscious is wide open. That means whatever you feed it in that window has a direct path to becoming your reality. Most people don't realize they're programming their minds for anxiety, distraction, and self-doubt the moment they check emails, look at the news, or scroll social media. You can't step into greatness when your first action is reacting to other people's lives and agendas. You can't expect confidence, clarity, and drive when the first voice you hear isn't your own. Success doesn't start with luck, it starts with a system. And your morning is your personal command center. It's your runway to prime your body, mind, and focus before the world tries to pull you in every direction. How you breathe, how you move, how you speak to yourself, how you focus, all of it wires your state. You're not just brushing your teeth and making coffee. You're rehearsing who you are. Every ritual either reinforces your power or drains it. You're either designing your day or letting the day design you. People think motivation is something you wait for, but it's something you generate. And it starts the moment your feet hit the floor. If you wake up late, stressed, rushed, scattered, that's the emotional GPS you've just activated, and it will drive everything, your conversations, your decisions, your posture, your focus. But if you wake up with purpose, if you move with certainty, breathe with power, focus with clarity, then you're not waiting for life to give you permission. You've already taken control of the cockpit, and the rest of your day is now following your lead. Pain is power. Use it. Most people run from pain. They numb it, avoid dining it, medicate it, drown it in distraction, or bury it deep beneath the fake smile. But pain isn't the enemy. Pain is feedback. Pain is fuel. It's a signal that something needs to change, that something within you is ready to grow, ready to break through. Pain shows up when you're living out of alignment, when you've stayed in a comfort zone too long, when your vision is too small for the person you're meant to become. It's not there to destroy you, it's there to refine you. The problem is we've been conditioned to fear pain. We've been taught that discomfort means danger, that struggle means failure, that hardship means we're broken. But the truth is, nothing shapes you like adversity. Nothing forges character, strength, And clarity like walking through the fire and realizing you didn't burn. You were tempered. The people who achieve greatness aren't the ones who've avoided pain. They're the ones who faced it, leaned into it, and turned it into purpose. They used the betrayal, the rejection, the trauma, the failure, not as anchors, but as launchpads, not as excuses, but as reasons to rise. You think you're the only one who's been hurt, the only one who's failed, who's lost, who's broken down in the dark. You're not. But pain gives you a choice in collapse or convert. You can let it harden you, make you bitter, close your heart, or you can let it teach you, wake you, and sharpen the edge of who you are. Because every scar tells a story. Every word has wisdom inside it. And if you're willing to face the pain, not with shame, but with courage, you'll find the strength that was hidden underneath it the whole time. Pain is not permanent, but the lessons it can offer, they're priceless when you stop running from it, when you stop asking, why me? And start asking, what now? That's when the shift begins. You stop feeling like a victim and start acting like a warrior. You stop shrinking from your past and start using it to build your future. The energy inside pain is pure, it's raw, it's real, it's untamed. And when you channel it, when you own it, when you stop letting it define you and start letting it drive you, that's when your power is no longer potential. It becomes kinetic. Your standards create your life, not your goals, not your hopes, not your dreams, your standards. Because while goals are something you aim for, standards are something you live by. They are the invisible boundaries that determine what you will and won't tolerate, what you expect from yourself, and how you show up every single day. And most people's lives are not a reflection of what they want. They are a reflection of what they are willing to settle for. The truth is, you don't always get what you desire, but you will always get what you demand. Look around your life right now. Everything in it is a direct result of the standards you've either set or accepted. Your health, your relationships, your income, your environment, they're not accidents, they're mirrors. And if you're not where you want to be, it's not you're not capable. It's because you've been negotiating with your potential. You've been tolerating things you know are beneath you, wasting time, letting fear dictate your decisions, accepting mediocrity from yourself and others. And the moment you raise your standards, the game changes, the excuses evaporate, the victim story dies. Because when your standards rise, so does your behavior. Raising your standards isn't about perfection, it's about precision. It's about aligning your thoughts, your language, your habits, and your circle with the identity of the person you want to become. It's making non-negotiable what used to be optional. Discipline becomes your baseline, excellence becomes your norm. You no longer try to eat clean. You are someone who values health. You don't hope to succeed. You've made success a standard, not a fantasy. You move with intention. You act with urgency. You cut off anything that doesn't match the energy of the future you're building. People want transformation, but they don't want to give up the comfort of their current standards. And that's the war. The war between who you've been and who you're called to be. Raising your standards requires you to let go of the version of yourself that was okay with just getting by. It demands that you stop blaming circumstances and start taking radical ownership. Because standards are not just about what you do, they're about what you believe you deserve. When you believe you are meant for more, you start rejecting anything less. You stop asking for permission and start declaring your truth. And from that place, your entire reality begins to shift around the new level you've committed to living at. Massive action is the key to change. Not thinking about it, planning for it, not visualizing it forever. Change doesn't happen when you just wish for it. It happens when you move, when you execute, when you push through resistance and do what needs to be done whether you feel like it or not. The world is full of intelligent, talented, meaning people stuck in the exact same place for years because they keep waiting for the right time, waiting for clarity, waiting until it feels perfect. But perfection is the lie that keeps people paralyzed. Clarity comes through action, not before it. Progress comes from movement, not more contemplation. You can read all the books, go to the seminars, hear the coaches, but if you don't apply, nothing changes. Knowledge is not power unless it's executed. Strategy is useless without action behind it. Even the best plan in the world means nothing if it never gets off the whiteboard. What separates the people who talk about change from those who actually create it is the level of intensity and urgency they bring to their decisions. They don't dabble, they don't dip a toe in and see how it feels. They go all in, they decide with conviction, and they follow through with everything they've got. That's what creates momentum. That's what rewires identity. That's what breaks through fear. The truth is, taking action is uncomfortable. It will expose your fears. It will challenge your self-doubt. It will stretch every belief you have about what's possible. But that's the point. Action doesn't wait for confidence. Action builds confidence. You don't become ready and then act. You act and become ready in the process. Massive action trains your nervous system to trust yourself. It turns theory into experience and experience into transformation. You learn faster, grow stronger, and get results that simply aren't available to people still sitting on the sidelines of their own life. If you want to create real, lasting change, you have to condition yourself to take bold, decisive action over and over again, especially when it's inconvenient, especially when it's action, because the bridge between your current reality and your desired future. It is the accelerator of growth, the cure for procrastination, and the destroyer of excuses. When you make action a habit, hesitation loses its power over you. The more you do, the more capable you become. The more capable you become, the more belief you build. And once you start living from that place, nothing feels out of reach anymore. So here's the truth. The life you want, the success you crave, the power that's buried deep inside you. It's not out there waiting for permission. It's already within you waiting for activation. But it starts when you stop sleepwalking through life and start reprogramming your mind with intention. When you take control of your mornings, you take control of your momentum. When you embrace your pain, you convert it into fuel. When you raise your standards, you raise your identity. And when you back all of it with massive, relentless, unapologetic action, that's when the breakthrough happens. That's when the old story dies and the real you finally rises. No more waiting, no more excuses. Wake up, rewire, and rise. This is your moment. Own it.